Today we have a very special video because thanks to SNK, I've been given early access to Kim Jae Hoon, the first DLC in Season 2 of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. And in this video, I'm gonna explain to you 5 things that you must know about Kim Jae Hoon before trying him out, to understand his playstyle and see if you wanna main the character in Fatal Fury. So now, let's get into it. Okay, so first thing that you gotta understand about Kim Jae Hoon is that he's all about big buttons and plus frames. Look at this. This is close heavy kick into down feint plus 3 on block, and then you can do sequences into other buttons, like for example crouching heavy punch with only being -1 if you feint, and also you can use far heavy kick, which is a forward momentum move that is +2 on block, and that it actually does not whiff on crouchers on the last hit, which is the button that is plus. Okay, these sequences and these normals are absolutely nuts, and it's gonna be some of the most strong things about this character. So when the character comes out, if you want to give him a try, you should be abusing these buttons, especially for heavy kick, because you can essentially loop it. Even if people are crouching, if they're not ready to punish you on the first hit whiffing, you can get eternal plus frames one after the other. Okay, so this is gonna be insanely strong, and you should be abusing the plus frame advantage that Kim Jae Hoon can create when he's up close. But wait a second, I also said big buttons or normals, not only plus frames, and here you have it. This is far heavy punch, okay, a big kick to the face, and this has actually kind of like the range of Roundstar. It's only like a micro dash away from it, so if people extend their hurt box on Roundstar, you can probably hit them with this. And this button is actually cancelable into supers, so you can get relatively good combos out of it, and at the same time it's going to end up being one of the best wild punish buttons in the game. So really strong. And then don't forget that also far heavy kick has forward momentum, so the character actually moves a ton into the opponent when you use it, and is also going to be potentially a really good button for whiff punishes and to take up space. So that range in the normals is also going to be really strong and really relevant to Kim Jae Hoon's game plan. Then the second thing that you gotta understand about Kim are his dive kicks. They are probably better than ever, at least the EX version. If you look at the regular versions, you can see that they are minus on block but not punishable, and at the same time they are mits. They don't work like actual mix-ups, but both the heavy and the EX version of the dive kicks have a follow-up that is an overhead, and if you time specifically the EX version of the overhead into red blow correctly in terms of spacing, you can get a situation in which you're +3 or +4 on block after using red blow if people block, and if they get hit, you get a hard knockdown because the overhead actually connects into the red blow. This is absolutely nuts, and it is arguably one of the best jump-in situations in the game for any character. And after this, things can get even crazier because the dive kick also has a low follow-up, and Kim Jae Hoon also has a command normal sequence in the air in which he does 2 normals that work as a jump-in, and he can hit you if you're standing from a really far away point in the air. So it's going to be really hard to not only anti-air the character if he uses the command normal and you're actually standing, but also you're gonna have to eat a mix every time that Kim has meter to do the dive kick on EX and then move it into a plus range situation or into a low that's gonna open you up and then give you an actual Oki. So it's a really strong thing about the character, and one of the best approaches for him in terms of playstyle is gonna be playing in the air. Hey, just in the case that you've been enjoying the content, find it useful, or learn something new, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel to support it. I cover a ton of different funny games, I do guides, discussions, video essays on the genre, and more. And now let's continue with the guide for Kim. And now we can move into the third thing that you must know about Kim, which is arguably one of the most unique, traits of his move list and his playstyle, and that is that he has supers which can extend combos. Instead of using, multiple EX moves like a lot of the characters in the cast of Fatal Fury, he can actually use both a level 1 and a level 2 super to extend combos and create new juggles that other characters are not able to do. And the way that you do the supers is that you do quarter circle forward motions or 2 Hadoukens into into light punch or heavy punch, and the light punch version is gonna give you the level 1, which is mostly used in corner combos because on mid-screen the combo potential for it is more limited, but in the corner you can do essentially whatever you want. And if you actually want to use the combo extender super mid-screen, you should use the level 2 version because it causes a ground bounce, which again gives a much higher level of freedom than what the level 1 does. And this is going to be one of the most essential tools to use with Kim to get the most in his combo, game, and also the highest damage possible, but at the same time as optimal as it can be. And now we can move into tip number 4, and I think this is going to be a really relevant one for anybody that wants to try Kim Jae Hoon out, and that is to actually understand his offense, because when you look at this character and his moveset, even though he has a lot of options and also a lot of ways to be plus on block, he doesn't have the best mix-ups necessarily, because even though he does have, some like overhead low mix-ups outside of, for example, EX dive kick and things like that, they don't do a lot of damage. They are mostly used to get, an actual Oki situation for the character, and a lot of the time you're actually going to use moves that are mids. Most of the best buttons that Kim has are mids. They don't work as real mix-ups. They just put you plus and that's it. And I think that it's going to be really relevant to do two things on offense with Kim to open people up. The first one is to use a lot of throws, okay? This character is plus all the time, like he's going to be plus constantly. So you're going to condition people to block because you're going to, use your buttons to be plus, plus, plus over and over, and people are going to start mashing, you're going to get counter hits, do big combos. So when people actually start, mostly blocking, you need to start doing plus frame into micro dash grab, and it's going to be really important for the character. And then the next thing that you have to add to your arsenal is also cross-ups. Okay, Kim has one of the best cross-ups in the game. It naturally connects into a really big button that then you can use to do a VMB. So it's going to be really important for you if you want to maximize the way in which you can open people up in this game with Kim to actually do your cross-up reliably and use it as one of the best mix-ups that you have. So do not forget about grabs and do not forget about your cross-up. They're going to be really relevant tools to actually get your offense going. And now we get into the last thing that you must know about Kim. And in here I want to talk about a couple of weaknesses, because I feel like Kim has a very specific playstyle, and if you don't understand that and connect it with what is weak about the character, you might struggle a lot, like lose constantly and also not have that much fun, obviously, because you don't really know how to play the character. So the first thing that I want to say in here is that Kim has arguably one of the worst backdashes in the game. If you're someone that likes, having good movement, you like for your character to be fast, to be very quick, I think that Kim is not for you because he has a very bad backdash. So it is actually a lot of the time, I would say, a better idea when you play Kim to either go forward or just stay on place and charge, because he has a flash kick. So that means that if you want to do a reversal or IDP, you have to charge it, okay? So taking into account how bad his, backdash is, I think that is something relevant to understand if you want to, try the character out. And then the second thing that is connected to the last point that you gotta understand, and this is not necessarily a weakness, but it is about the end-tier options that Kim has, because for one, he has a flash kick, which means that if you're not used to or comfortable with doing charge motions, you're gonna struggle playing this character, because to do ADP, you have to do a charge motion. You have to press down, charge it, and then press up to get your flash kick, which is completely different from playing neutral or anti-airing people in neutral with a regular DP. And the other thing, or what I would call it a weakness, is because, okay, he has a flash kick, but what about his universal anti-air, like the dodge attack anti-air? And the thing is that he arguably has one of the worst anti-air's dodge attacks in the game. So in that sense, the anti-air game overall for Kim is not gonna be the best, or at least is gonna be relatively awkward for people that are not used to pre-charging flash kicks, maybe after they do jump ins or things like that, or neutral after they dash. So it's gonna be a really specific feature about the character that is gonna condition his playstyle. And if you're not comfortable with, doing charge motions, with using flash kicks to anti-air, maybe it's not gonna be the best character for you, or at least it's gonna be hard to learn him at the start. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't give him a try. It's just something that you should have in mind. And that was the video, guys, the initial guide for Kim as a character, so you can get excited for Season 2 of City of the Wolves and give him a try when he comes out. And of course, there's also going to be a ton of updates and new content on Fatal Fury when Kim and Season 2 are actually released. And don't forget to not only try the game, but also try the Fatal Fury Discord, because in the Discord, there's a ton of activities almost every single weekend, and also special events when new DLC or new updates come out on the game. So it's really fun. Do not sleep on that. And I hope to see you on Fatal Fury with Season 2. Enjoy the game, and if you enjoyed this video or find it useful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to support the channel. Thanks again to SNK for the early access, and see you on the next one. Keep enjoying Fatal Fury.